Welcome to the ID Talk podcast. My name is Peter Counter, and I am the editor-in-chief of FindBiometrics and Mobile ID World, where we are looking back on the highlights of biometrics and identity in 2022 as we gear up for our 20th annual Year in Review survey and research event. That's why this month on ID Talk, we are featuring key conversations from our live event coverage dealing with the year's hottest topics. One of the major trends this year was the ascent of biometric travel, and that's why on this episode of the ID Talk podcast, FindBiometrics' own Doug OGorden interviews Bill Carleton, Director, Advanced Recognition Systems at NEC Corporation of America. This interview was recorded at the FTE conference in September, where NEC was a diamond-level sponsor and showcased its digital ID and biometric capabilities for the aviation sector. Carleton speaks about NEC's role in defining the digital ID travel trend, the value of soft biometrics in the passenger facilitation space, and his company's global strategic partnership with CETA. It's a fascinating conversation with a leader in digital ID, so let's get right to it. Here is FindBiometrics' Doug OGorden in conversation with NEC Corporation of America's Bill Carleton, recorded live at FTE 2022.
Hi, FindBiometrics listeners. Doug OGorden here. I'm with Bill Carleton, Director at NEC. We're live at FTE 2022. How are you?
Doing great, Doug. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Bill, what are you showcasing at FTE this year?
Well, this is a banner event for NEC every year. We're the diamond sponsor of the show, and it's been a pleasure working with the FTE event staff year over year to come back and showcase what we can offer our customers and clients. This year we're, as in years past, are showcasing our digital identity and biometric capabilities. So digital identity is going to be a big emerging trend within the aviation and global travel and transport space, and we're hoping to help lead and define that trend for our customers.
I'd say digital identity is the overwhelming topic at this show this year.
It is definitely very apparent in all the panel sessions and walking the show floor and seeing all the booths of our competitors, our friends. Digital identity is here and it's now, and it's going to just get bigger and bigger.
It's not the future. It's the present.
It's the present.
That's what I've been saying
And the
today.
future will become more ubiquitous.
Yeah. Great. What are your, we just kind of mentioned that, but what are your impressions of the show other than digital identity being the key component today?
Biometrics is everywhere. Pretty much all the booths, save a select few that kind of focus on other areas within the travel ecosystem. But biometrics and digital identity is spread throughout the show, all the panel sessions and the speaker slots. Digital identity is kind of on the forefront in the minds within the air transport industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the panel I moderated, I got into the other modalities being used, and American Airlines got into a big discussion on those different modalities, like gate, just to maybe not surveil people, but just to use that as a way of looking around the airline to see how people are moving.
Sure. So those are considered, soft biometrics, and using advanced artificial intelligence technologies that are anonymous, so we don't know who the person is, but what type of those analytics can provide and help both kind of transform the airport and the travel environment to help reduce friction and make the travel experience much easier, safer, and secure, and less restrictive to the traveling public.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us more about NEC's partnership with CETA and share with us any recent or impending implementations?
Sure, absolutely. So CETA, we have established a global strategic partnership with CETA, with NEC, and it's one where we know what we do best, which is biometrics and identity management, and we know what CETA does best, which is airport IT operations, and they're the largest provider globally. So it was an excellent fit for the two companies to come together, bring the best of breed of our technology and their technology and capabilities, and CETA SmartPath is powered by NEC's biometric algorithms and capabilities. Recently announced was Miami Airport. They had a great session here at the show, kind of talking about what they're doing, and they are outfitting all 130 of their departure gates with CETA Smart Path and biometrics to just kind of serve initially the CBP mandated air exit requirements here in the U.S. Using Traveler Verification Service as the identity management platform, but in the future looking to serve domestic travelers as well using that biometric infrastructure.
We're second half of the year. My crystal ball comes out and we ask a lot of people, like, what is the biggest trend in the travel industry for next year? What do you see next FTE happening?
Well, I think it'll be showcasing some of these successes that NEC, CETA, American Airlines, United, Delta, and the other big players are actually having with their implementations of digital identity capabilities.
Nice. And then last question, what's the best way for our readers to get a hold of you if they have more questions?
Look us up on our website, www.necam.com, and we have a ton of information on there about our capabilities, as well as useful links to be able to get in touch with us and learn a little bit more.
Great. Thanks. And I hope you have a great show.
Thanks, Doug, and safe travels going home.
You too.
And so concludes our interview with Bill Carleton, Director, Advanced Recognition Systems at NEC Corporation of America. Learn more about the topics discussed in this episode by visiting necam.com or clicking the links in the show notes. I want to thank Bill for participating in this episode, and thank you to Doug OGorden for conducting the interview. Our podcast theme music is by Logomrad. I have been your host, Peter Counter. Thank you for listening to the ID Talk podcast.